something like unmerited favor, but go back and read. If you read the scripture and also read what grace is. Grace means divine enablement. It means divine empowerment. It means divine resource. So the grace of God has appeared that offers salvation to all people. It teaches us to say no to ungodliness. And that's where the answer is. We say no to women abuse because of the grace.
Yes.
We say no to impure thoughts because of the grace.
So it's grace that can give us power to say no.
Yes. So I understand it. I know a lot of people, grace, but I'm free to do whatever I want and mess up.
But it can say no.
There's no such. The grace actually teaches you to know. So if you say, I understand grace, we period grace, Tina, it means we have got the capacity to do isn't. Other people David was a very, very strong leader. He was very good as a leader, and yet he failed in many areas of my feelings, of managing my feelings. But Tina, because of the grace,
we can say no.
Grace, we now can say no. That's the difference between me and David. David was really, really powerful as a king, and he fought. And as men, we cannot define men without going back and looking at David. At the same time, we need to understand he didn't have the capacity to say no. We have the capacity to say no to ungodliness and worldly passions and live self-controlled. Lenta self-control. We are fighting towards peace in South Africa. Without self-control, you cannot reach a stage whereby you view abantu besifazane correctly. And this grace teaches us to be upright and live godly lives in this present age, in this very mess esibhekene nayo. Kuyo le mess lena lapha abantu khona bebulawa ipornography because amadoda ayafa bulawa
pornography. Yes.
And kulesi sikhathi, in this present age, Tina, we are able to say no. What's up? Yes.
So in other words, it's not our power or our strength that we can say no to women abuse. We can say no to many things that are happening in our society, but it is the grace of God that gives us strength and power to say no.
Absolutely. Once you understand that, that's divine empowerment. And that's what I like about your show, because it's saying it's possible, it's doable, it can happen. Many people are living defeated lives. And I want to connect this with a story based on research was somewhere in some other country. I mean, America is always advanced in terms of research. But you get class in Batolingane, ezinye ziya excel kuthiwa amalenta is total distinction, low achievers and high achievers. Zizonke class in. All they did was to divide the class into two. Batata ama high achievers amanye asala nalabo kuthiwa ama slow learners. But ama slow learners ba mixa nama high achievers. Base bathi kulabo abakwa left, you guys, you are too advanced for these guys abakwa right. Sicela ukunisusela sinikeze le class without explaining what they were doing. We're going to give you different program. You can accelerate it because you are too sharp, and the capacity and you can understand is so advanced. You are too slow. Class on different teachers, so different curriculum, and at the end of the year, you will be assessed differently. And they didn't tell them, in fact, the very same lecturers, the very same teachers, and the very same program that was being used in other classes was the same. It was basically the same program. They gave them everything a fanayo. Came Iskat's assessment. What do you think happened, Pumlani?
I think now,
what do you think happened in terms of our results?
Yeah.
So the guys, these young people, you guys are high achievers. Bonke, bachelor distinction, including slow learners.
Because
bacheliwe. So my concern isn't this is why about men. As he wrong, essence as defeated. We have had a lot of negative talk about men. I hear a lot of talk about men are trash. I wish they could consult to my wife before men are trash. But it's just a play on there. Maybe, which is not even correct to say to